decided to include other insects and animals, and this is a native 8-spotted skipper dragonfly that you might see around here, especially like around the mill pond, and then the Pacific tree frog that you might see in the woods somewhere. So I wanted to include little creatures with some of the native plants that I'm a botanical artist primarily, and I love researching and learning about native plants in the area. One of the pieces that I have there on the wall is flowering currant, and they're blooming all over in the Pacific Northwest right now. They're native plants, and they attract native hummingbirds. They provide a lot of nectar for native hummingbirds, but I combined it with a polyphemus moth. It's a very large moth, about 6 inches wide. I don't know if you can see where you are standing, but it can be spotted here in Seaside in the Pacific Northwest. It's a native moth. Interesting story about the moth. It lives for about only a week. It doesn't have a mouth. It's born without a mouth. It doesn't feed at all. So its sole purpose is to just mate and lay eggs, and then it dies. However, it has a connection with that flowering currant because it's a host plant. It lays its eggs on flowering currant, and then when the caterpillars are born, they munch on the leaves of the flowering currant, and then they progress and develop into moths. So some people think that moths and butterflies are not pollinators, or not really as effective pollinators as bees and bumblebees, because bees are primarily important for producing food crops and pollinating fruit trees. But butterflies and moths are important pollinators, especially for the native plants, because they have co-evolved